So what's up, everyone? It is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we're gonna get into my recreated palette collection. So if you all haven't noticed, I like to recreate ColourPop palettes in particular because they'll have like 1 or 2 shades that I'm not feeling, or they have a whole bunch of neutrals in them, and I'm like, I want more colorful mattes than neutrals. So I started like just flipping them around because you know you can. So I figured I'd show you the collection of all the ones I do have that I have done, and we can see how that goes. I know I've done videos here and there with pieces of it, but I wanted to have a video of the whole collection of each one. I got another one I actually need to do when this is over, so that'll be in a future video because, you know, ColourPop always going to be coming out with stuff, and I mean, like, I might like some of the color stories, but not like them exactly, so I'll continue to do this series. But for now, I'm going to just show you what I got, and then I might add the rest of the ColourPop ones I remake into the Melt one when I do that one, because I've remade a few Melt palettes as well, so I feel like I'll show those if you all like this video. Let's get to this video though. So we're gonna start off with this La Belle of the Ball. I have never played Animal Crossing, but some of the colors were cute. Like I liked this one, and then there was like a little blue quad that I liked. So what I did was I put the blue and green one together, because if you remember correctly, people were complaining about the fact that all of them had pressed glitters in them. So I just took all the shades that I liked out of each one of the quads and put the quad together and made this. And y'all know I love a blue, green, purple moment, so this is like bluish greenish matte shade, and then I got my purple matte and this cool dual chromey shade, and I got this nice shade to put in the inner corner. So I got a nice little eye look right here in this little quad as a go-to look that I can do that won't take much time. And then since the quality on these is good because it's a collab and they have a tendency to try to do better quality with collabs than not, that works for me. The next one I have is my Just My Luck palette. Now what I did with the Just My Luck was I mixed it in with the Meant to Be, so that way I didn't have to have both palettes, because some of the shades in Meant to Be were a little too ashy for my liking, and I like the majority of the shades that were in the Just My Luck, so I just put them together and this is what we're working with. So if I remember correctly, this shade came from Just My Luck. I think this shade came from Just My Luck, and I know for sure this shade came from Just My Luck. Now, I don't remember if this one came from Just My Luck or not. I feel like it did, and the rest of them are originally from this palette. But I like the way this one is set up better, because it's like you got your grungy moment if you want to make a grungy dark eye look here. And you can pop this in the inner corner, and then you got all these light options to choose from if you want to do a lighter look. And, you know, I got this darker outer V shade to go with this lighter matte shade to create an all matte look. So I just like the tones in here a little bit better. And then I get the more mint shades and my more, what do you call them? My more grungier shades as well. So I feel like it's giving me the best of both worlds, and I don't have to have 2 palettes sitting around, because we know I got plenty of palettes, and you know, space always runs out after a while, especially when you're like me and have to have a million palettes sitting around. So next I have Making Moths. So what I did was I took a lot of the shades out of the what's that palette? I think it was the Aura and Out palette I took them out of, or what, it was Aura Out or Inner Trance. Anyway, I took shades out of there along with Garden Variety to get the shade coloring that I have in here. A lot of the shades at the top were kind of ashy, so I just let this lighter shade stay, and then I put the rest of these shades in here. This shade I believe was at the top, and I moved it to the bottom here. So I just got a lot of purplish, pinkyish type vibes, because y'all know mauve are my favorite tone. So I tried to create a somewhat mauve-ish palette, but still with shimmers and tones that I would like to put with my mauve, and this is what I came up with, and I think it looks nice. But clearly I would be biased. Next I have That's Taupe. So this one again was a palette they had made that was really ashy. This is before Dionluvsmakeup and the owner of Mented Cosmetics, Killer Kyle, I think his name is, started helping them. So I recreated this one, and I just took shades from I Think I Love You, which they don't make anymore, and put it in here. So I'm pretty sure I added this shade. I know I added the black for sure, and then I think I added a couple of the shimmers in here. Like I think I added this shimmer right here, and that's how we got the color story that we have now. I actually really like the way this palette turned out too, because you get your deepening dark shade, and then you can use this as like a alternative if you're not a person who likes to use black. You have this deeper brown in here. You have this nice deep toned bronzy shade to make a nice smoky look. And then if you want to do a lighter look, you have this Super Shock shadow here. I think I took this from another palette too, don't quote me. And then you have more grungy taupey shades when you want to do a taupe look. So I tried to make sure there was taupes and smoky eyes covered, so this could be like your go-to ColourPop smoky eye palette if you need that sort of thing. So that's what my thought was when I curated that palette. Next we have Little Ray of Sunshine. I remember Dionluvsmakeup in particular talking about how he had helped him with this palette, because he said before it became the color story it is now, honey, it was a mess. So I'm assuming it was just a whole bunch of ashy yellow tone shades that only worked for lighter skin tones, and it wasn't inclusive to everyone. So when he and the owner of OPV Cosmetics helped them make this, it went a whole lot better. But I wanted some shimmers in mine, so what I did was I just took some shimmers out of I Think I Love You palette, because it was kind of shimmer heavy. So I just took the two ashiest lightest shades I feel like would work best for my skin tone and put these two shades in there instead. So a couple of these might be from the Ordinate palette, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure both of these came from I Think I Love You. It's been so long ago since I did that, I honestly have no idea. But I just added shimmers to this palette in order to have some inner corner shades, but you can do it all nice yellow matte look, and you can still have a nice little neutral moment with these shades down here at the bottom. So I thought that would suffice and make you a cute little sunflower. I like the outer packaging. Next, this is one of the holiday palettes that they had at Ulta. My friend bought me, I think, one of them, and I bought myself the other one. She bought me this purple one, which is Lock It Down, and I bought the pink one. And then I combined both the palettes together to get the color story that you're going to see here. So it's hard to show it, I'm sorry, since they like to do this reflective packaging. But as you can see, all the pinks that were added in here, I just added from that pink palette I got during the holidays from Ulta when it went on sale. And I was like, we can combine both these and make a cute little look. So this pink shade I added in here. I'm pretty sure I added this one and this one here. And I think the rest of the tones are in here already here. I might have added this one, but the rest of the tones are in here already in here. All the pinkish shades were just literally added because I wanted a pinkish purples vibe. Y'all know they have 500 million monochromatic palettes, so I wanted to make something a little different that combined pink and purple. Now the Cherry Crush one is in here, but I don't remember changing anything out of here, so I'm gonna take this out because I'm pretty sure I didn't take anything out of there to change that around. Now my candy cow, so y'all know if you saw the video where I did a look with this, it was not hidden at all. So what I did was I made a more colorful pastel-y type vibe based upon the outer packaging as opposed to like the color story they actually put in there. I guess they were going with the characters or whatever, but this is what I came up with. So this is what I put on the inside here. I just took a lot of the shades from Garden Variety palette and popped them in here, so that's where a majority of these shades came from, I believe. I think the only shade I left in here that was originally in here was this one right here. So this is, I think, a couple of shades from It's My Pleasure in here as well. Like, I'm pretty sure this is It's My Pleasure shade, and I think this is It's My Pleasure shade, but the rest of them are from Garden Variety. So It's My Pleasure and Garden Variety are how I created this palette, and I think maybe one or two shades got to stay in here from the original palette, but otherwise all of it was changed. I really liked the outer packaging, which is why I wanted to keep it. I like the color story enough. It's just I have a color story I made in a different palette that I like more, that makes me not really want to reach for this one in that regard. But you know, it looks nice. Matter of fact, where's the Garden Variety palette? Oh crap, I left the Garden Variety palette at home because I redid that one as well. So I'll show that one when I show the Brooklyn Net ones that I'm talking about, since I forgot to let it at home. Yeah. Next I have In the Limelight. So I redid my In the Limelight just a tad bit, just because I wasn't crazy about the shimmery green shade. So I took a couple shades out of here and out of what is it, the Tinkerbell one, and moved them around. You'll see the Tinkerbell one right after this because I stacked them accordingly. So this green shade at the bottom here I took out because it was a sequin shade and I wanted more of a deeper shimmery green in here. So a couple of these greens came, I think that's the only green I took out. And then this shade right here wasn't here. It was, I think it was something else. I think it was a matte light ashy-ish type mauve shade that I didn't want, so I put this in here. I'm pretty sure this shade came from the, was it One and Done palette from, who are those people? Well, from ColourPop, from the Cowgirl collection that just came out recently. I'm pretty sure that's where this shade came from, and I'm pretty sure this shade was already in here. So I didn't do too much with this palette other than that shade and this shade, and I think this shade came from the Tinkerbell palette. Don't quote me though, because I felt like that one had too many greens in it, and it wasn't giving enough of the pinkish mauve color story that they were initially trying to serve. So I just did it myself. So here is the Sprinkle a Little Magic palette from Tinkerbell. From ColourPop and Tinkerbell. So this is what I was talking about. Like the rest of the pinks I took out of the One and Done palette. So I took this pink out of there, and I took this pink out of there, and then I think this was up at the top, and I moved it to the bottom. And then I feel like I took this green, I feel like this green was already here, and this shade was already here, so I just added some pinks that I felt like would look better for my skin tone than the ones that were in here. And I think that's pretty much it, but I really love the color story of this. I need to bust it out and use it some more, but I have so many palettes to choose from. I'm taking the time to dig all the ColourPop palettes I do have, because as we see, we've been sitting here for 10 minutes and I'm not even done with all the ColourPop palettes I already did. So honey, next I have the Sailor Moon palette, Pretty Garden. They actually still have this on sale, believe it or not, oddly enough. But this is what it looks like. As you can see, like the mouth is open and then it closes and it opens. So that's cute. I already did mine because it was way too ashy. I mean, it's still kind of ashy, but I feel like at least it's aesthetically pleasing and somewhat ashy now. What I did was I took all the shades from the Inner Trance palette, and they actually still sell the Inner Trance palette. I just went on their website and saw. So I took the shades from Inner Trance and put them in here to make it more of my liking. This palette is $22 and then Inner Trance is $14. So you could always wait for a sale if you want to recreate any of the palettes that you see from me, because ColourPop always has a sale. And then, you know, like I told you what shades I put in, and that's why I did, just in case you want to recreate it, because I know some people like color stories that they see other creators make and they actually want to recreate it themselves. So that's why I always try to tell you what I did and how I did it. Next, I have the Powerpuff Girls palette. I loved the Powerpuff Girls, but I found out this is like the recreation of the Powerpuff Girls. This isn't the one from when I was a kid. This is the new series they had came out with after the fact. So I was kind of disappointed in that. DIY Pansy told me, because I was like, it looked similar, but she said it wasn't exactly. When I started writing and stuff, that's when I was like, yeah, I know it's not. It's not my Powerpuff Girls. It's the ones of Adrian's generation, but I guess that's okay. So this is what mine look like on the inside. Y'all know I was taking that pressed glitter out. So what I did was I bought the Dallas Mavericks palette and I put this blue and this blue in there from that. And that's how I got the colors I have in here now. But I love this way better. I mean, who the hell wants a pressed glitter? I don't want a pressed glitter. So I took those out. I didn't find any other shades that I felt like I wanted to change. I just wanted more blues and they weren't giving. And then I forgot what was up here at the top. I think it was like another beige shade, because they had beige shades all across. They have like a neutral look if you wanted to, and then they had like mattes to go with each one of the girls, but they didn't have shimmers to go with each one of the girls. So I feel like they did the most when it came to Blossom though, but I mean, I guess pink is the most neutralish wearable shade out of all of the Powerpuff Girls, which is I'm assuming why they kind of focused on her color story the most and gave the most tones for her. But I wanted Bubbles and Buttercup to have their moment too, so I'm thinking about taking this shade out and putting a green in instead, a lighter iridescent type green if another palette comes out like that from ColourPop with it, so that way I can have it, because I don't want to take it out of my in the Limelight palette, because I wasn't, you know. Next I have Plush Like Me. So this is what it looks like. This one is currently on sale for $10.40 on ColourPop's website when I'm filming this. So if you wanted to get it, maybe you should go get your hands on it now. This is what it looks like on the inside. I took some more of the pink shades from the One and Done palette and put them in here, along with a couple of browns. I think I took a brown out of that palette. Don't quote me, but I know for sure like this whole row came from the One and Done palette. But remember, it had a lot of pinks in it, and they had like a random row of just browns. So I want the pinks to be incorporated in this palette, because I feel like it would go better with like the theming of it, because I feel like the theming of it made it look like it's gonna have all these well, reddish and plumish tones in them, and I wanted pops of pink and plumish tones. But as you can see, it's a lot of neutral that goes along with here and just a couple of plumish tones. So I wanted some more pinks to go with the plumish tone, and then I left like the kind of yellowy neutral tones to stay to go with this cool iridescent type shade if you wanted the extra little pop to it. So that's how I recreated mine to look. We're down to the big boys now, and then we should be done, since I haven't recreated one and I left another one at home by accident. But yeah, so I have the It's All Good palette. My girl Jackie bought this for my birthday last year. We went out to lunch. She had got me, we went out to brunch. She got me this palette, and she got me It's Move and Play a Jewel. So those three that I recreated are thanks to Jackie. So what I did was I took some shades from Just My Luck and like Ooh La La, and that's how I recreated this. So like this, y'all know it's Just My Luck. I think this is Just My Luck or Lilac You a Lot, because if you all remember when I got on my ColourPop palettes, I ended up dropping both of those, and then my Ooh La La was super old and I just bought another one. So I added some of the shades here. I think this shade is from the Mara palette. I don't think they make those anymore though, the Mara and the Soul. But it had this type of shade to it. So I think that might be from there, especially since it's heavily used and I haven't used this palette that often. As you can see, some of them have nicks because they got nicked when I tried to pop them out. Because I dipped into the shadow instead of somewhere else. This is from the Sweet Talk palette. So this is a combination of the Sweet Talk palette, the Ooh La La palette, It's My Pleasure, and Lie Like You a Lot. That's where I got the purples, the pinks, and like some of those mustards and these type shades from. And that's how I got the look I got. But I really like the way this palette looks over the way it originally looks, because as usual, ColourPop wants to give you 5 million neutrals, and it's like, I don't want 5 million neutrals. Now, next is the Your Golden palette. You all have recently seen the Your Golden palette. It's in the thumbnail of the video of me creating the Get Fresh look with this palette, because I had made it with colors similar to what it's in the Get Fresh palette. But like a clown, I ended up buying the Get Fresh palette when they had it on sale for 25 bucks. So I will be adding my collection. I guess I'll try it out eventually. But this is what I made mine look like. This is the one I was most proud of out of the ones I originally had when I first started, before I got the ones my friend Jackie got me. So I had recreated this one, and then I got these other 3 that I'm going to show you. And then It's My Moods, my all-time favorite one that I've made out of the giant ones. But I really like the way this color story looks as well. Like, this came from the Or and Out palette. This came from the what is this palette? The Meant to Be palette. This came from the Meant to Be palette. I think some of these corally, I think the corally shades were already in here, but this came from the Or and Out palette. So I tried to give it a corally type feel. I know probably some of these other colors people are confused about, but to me this was just a giant Kathleen Lights Dream Street palette. And I just wanted some more fun pops of color to add to it, as opposed to all the neutrals that initially came in the palette. Because if you remember what this palette originally looked like, it had way too many warm tone neutrals for my liking. And since I'm a cool tone queen, I wasn't feeling it. I needed some pops of color. I needed some fun to go with these warm tone shades they put in there. And I think I did a halfway decent job considering all the neutrals I had in, all the neutrals that initially came in that palette versus what it looks like there. So this is my all-time favorite one that I recreated. This is the It's a Mood palette. I love the way this looks. This is my most reached for big size ColourPop palette, just next to the I mean before the Your Golden. So it would be this one, then it'd be Your Golden, then it'd be Plain Jewel, and then it would be the It's All Good last. But this is my favorite recreation of a color story. I absolutely love the way this turned out. These colors, this I'm pretty sure came from Meant to Be. This came from the Ooh La La, and then the rest of them came from, what do you call it, It's My Pleasure and Lie Like You a Lot. So like, this is Lie Like You a Lot, this is My Pleasure, this is My Pleasure, this is the one I told you about, came from the Mara palette. It wasn't that other one. This came from the Mara palette. I think the other one might have came from the Ordained palette, but this came from Ooh La La. I really, really love the color story of this, because initially I was hoping it had more pops like this, and then when it didn't, I was just like, I'll put the pops in there myself. And honey, I love every eye look I do with this, and the color story of this is just amazing. I know, right? Even though this whole world orange, we're just gonna ignore it because there's blue, green, purple, and pink row in here for me. And then you got this one neutral row if you want to do that, and then you got the orange for the people who like orange. But love, love, love that color story. That's my all-time favorite one. I'm most proud of, if you can't tell. Last, it's Play It Jewel. So here is what Play It Jewel looks like. I didn't do too much to change this. I think I took again, I took stuff from Ooh La La. I took stuff from It's My Pleasure, and I think I took one from Meant to Be or something like that. But they've done a few mixed color stories, so that might be from Or and Out, because Or and Out had some mixed shimmers in it as well. But again, I did this a long ago. I don't remember. You can refer back to like the videos of me recreating my palettes without the whole collection in there. But as you can see, they did a whole bunch of neutrals again. Like you got this orangey neutral roll here, and then you got this more neutral brown tone roll here, and then you got blues and greens. And I added pinks because this was just mainly reds. So I'm like, I feel like they just redo a lot of the same color stories, and they just tried to make this more jewel focused, and they made the It's a Move more what is it, I guess, grungy tone focus, but it had the same color story to it. It was just more grungier tones to it. So they repeat themselves quite a bit, and you know, I just try to switch it up with them when I can find it on sale for a deal and make my own color stories, because you know, I find it to be fun. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. Let me know down below which ones were your favorites. It's My Mood is definitely one of my favorites. The Tinkerbell is another one of my favorites. Then the ColourPop one and the Sailor Moon. I would probably say those are like my top 5 favorites. Now my most used one, like I said, is the It's a Mood. Then the Your Golden. So my most used are usually like the bigger ones, just because I have a bigger, wider color story and variety to choose from, and I think I like that a little bit better sometimes, especially because I'm, you know, obsessed with Blend Bunny palettes and they're bigger like that. So I guess I'm kind of getting used to being in the mood of using that. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.